here on YouTube, those who follow me on Facebook, those who follow my short reel TikToks under HCS. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody is doing great. I want to say a happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers. Uh, it was pretty busy here, a lot of rain. Actually, a lot of rain and a lot of hail early in the morning. The weather was pretty bad, but it's still kind of like drizzling off and on. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody's doing well. That everybody had a blessed day on Mother's Day. As for me, I was, uh, to me, it's Mother's Day. No, of course, my wife, I always wish her a happy Mother's Day and we do things together. Uh, but I always honor my mother for Mother's Day, which I always do something for her within Facebook to honor her. Uh, since she's not with us in the flesh, but she's amongst us in spirit. We're supposed to honor those before us. I've been on her for a very long time now, since 1985. When I was 15 years old, all the way up to now. So, you know, there our loved ones always with us in spirit. Uh, they she's been there for me when I've been in situations where things are going to happen, whether it was like, for example, when I got in a lot of those those fights that I had to fight when I was the Badigo fights when I was in Germany. Her spirit was always around me, watching over me, protecting me, because I could sense her, and sometimes I could hear her spiritually. She would tell me, she would just tell me to handle business, the bottom line, because that she was that type of a mother was one of those people that want you to be tough, that tough love, not to take anything from anybody in any kind of way, shape, or form. So when I was out there getting in situations like that, she'd be there cheering me on, just like she used to cheer me on when I was a pitcher when I was in little league. She'd be up on the bleachers cheering me on. The same way when I was in those Badigo fights, I could feel her spirit, her presence there. And which for anybody that has their parents, that love their parents, they want to do the best that they can to make the parents proud, right? So I would use that as fuel when I was in certain situations, and even though my mother wasn't amongst us in the flesh, she was around me in spirit. So I had to represent her, in which, and I had to take care of the people that I was facing. She's been there for me spiritually, uh, in a lot of several accidents, especially when I was in the army. She was looking out spiritually, I guess, using her energy to, to try to prevent certain things, or will come to me spiritually to show me a picture that I was in danger. You know, it's kind of like she's one of those people that she always cared about everybody. And when somebody was going through something, she was the person that was always there. So if she's in spirit. Well, she would show me pictures, where I follow my spirit, and if she showed me something, it's like, hey, something ain't right, you know. I follow the spiritual instinct, in which he saved me from not just saved me from a lot of accidents in the military that could have been life threatening, but also helping people. Uh, where I wasn't even in the tanks no more. There was one time where I was going to work for the tower, where they were going to have a live gunfire, and something within the spirit told me to go check up on my friends that were on the line. Like my spirit was telling me to go, like go now, hurry up, So follow what my spirit was telling me. I went up to see what they were doing. They had already gone down range. They said they had already given up all their ammo to to the ammo guys, and they were gonna get ready. They were downloading the weapons, and one of the guys, he was already going to get out of the military. That was his last gunnery, and he was taking off the 50 cal barrel, and he was standing. He was in front of it, unscrewing it, and I told him to move to the side, and he's like, "Oh, you're going to do me like that? You're going to use rank on me?" I was a sergeant. I said, "Look, you're not supposed to be doing it. You're supposed to remove the barrel beside it, not in front of the gun barrel." It was a 50 cal machine gun, right? And then he said, "Yeah, I'm going to use my rank because my spirit is telling him to get him out of there fast, right?" So, okay, Sergeant. And he moves to the side, and as soon as he moves to the side, the loader was coming out, or the driver was coming out, and he hit the trigger, for the 50 cal, and the gun tube. I mean, should I say the barrel, 50 cal barrel, fired a 50 cal round. If he wouldn't have moved when I told him to move, it would have gone right through him. So he was like dark complected guy, Hispanic, dark complected. When that happened, he looked like Casper, like like his spirit went out of his body and came back in his body. When it went out of his body, he looked white. And he started freaking out, and it bothered him for the last couple of days it was there. It's like that could have been gone. Uh, you know, he was freaked out of how everything happened. But he's my still. It's been a lot of years, and we talk. He's got my number. We found each other. As a matter of fact, this past year, he found me, and we just talk, and I'll give him advice. He's got his own family and stuff like that, but he remembers what happened that day. In that sensible way. I'm glad that I listened to what my spirit was telling me. The Heavenly Father, I'm telling you, He works in very mysterious ways, and when He places you in a certain location, He places you there for a reason. He doesn't place you there accidentally. How you doing, Brother Alex, Sister Murphy, Runner 2, Miss Ivy? How y'all doing this evening? So yeah, this guy, he's he's a he's a veteran. He's out of the military. He found me this past year. Matter of fact, I found him and the other guy that was inside the tank, and they want to come visit me. They want to get together. But he said he remembers. He was he was happy at that day because he was gonna. His wife was gonna have a baby. He was gonna have his first baby. So he was happy, and it's like he just wanted to put all the equipment up real fast so he can, go go home and go because he lived in San Antonio, so he had to drive 2 hours. But he was going to be a father. I'm just glad that I was able to. And that round that went off, it flew and it landed inside a mechanic's vehicle, which the mechanics were in there. They said that the bullet it was ricocheting inside the mechanic vehicle. It's called a 88 Hercules. It was ricocheting, and the guys that were laying in there, you see the bullet flying around, but he ran out of velocity. Luckily, nobody got seriously injured. So they came, my NCOIC and other people came. It was like, hey, we heard that a round got fired, and it went and almost hit somebody over there. So you were here. Did you see anything? So I didn't want to get anybody in trouble, right? And I know that nobody got seriously injured in any kind of way. So I just told them that I didn't see nothing, but because I didn't want nobody to get in trouble. How you doing, cousin? Yeah, that's one thing about the military, that the people, uh, when you're training and you don't get enough rest, you start getting too comfortable with the equipment, like with the tank or the weapons that you operate. That's when accidents happen. When you think that nothing's going to happen, that you're confident of doing your job, that's when things happen. When people uh, get too comfortable with the job that they're doing as a tanker, you know, the tank is not a vehicle to be feel like you're safe on, because things can happen, or the equipment, the weaponry that we use. We're supposed to take care of the equipment, uh, disassemble it, clean it up, put some lubing oil on it so it can be ready for when we need to use it. But we can be too comfortable with the weapons because, like I said, any weapon, they're not meant to keep people alive. They're dangerous weapons, so you have to be alert at all times, and it's hard because sometimes you're too tired when you train a lot, day and night. Sometimes trade day and night might get like three hours of sleep, 2 3 hours of sleep, and you're tired. It's not like you get a chance to go take a shower run or nothing like that, and you continue the training the following day. We used to train like for 45 days straight. And, of course, in combat is months. It could be a year, longer. Yeah, I took the troll away. That's what I'm gonna start doing from now on. I see trolls, I'm booting them out. Uh, but yeah, uh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Is certain situations that can happen tonight. That's what it's about. Uh, that we can either prevent from something happening, or that something is happening to stop us getting in a situation. Uh, I remember one day I was looking for my keys on my vehicle, and I had to go to an appointment, and I couldn't find them. I searched for about an hour, and it's like I finally found them, got in the vehicle. So as soon as I take off, they said there was an accident that happened at this location, and it was the same uh, passage, the same area I was going to go to, where this accident happened. And then I look at the time when it happened. Then I look at the time when I was looking for my keys, and it was around the same time frame that maybe I would be in that area, but it wasn't meant for me. And what's weird about that is, like, I searched my keys everywhere. I knew where I had put it on my dresser, right? I searched for an hour, and guess where I find them at? On the dresser. It's kind of like the keys were invisible, that I couldn't see them. I couldn't find them, and I kept on looking at the same spot, right? Same spot. After an hour happened, they're right there where I placed them, and I looked numerous times and there wasn't there. It's kind of like they were hidden from me, like the Heavenly Father controls time, controls space. I believe He hit the key so I wouldn't be able to see Him, because if I would have gotten in my vehicle, something would have happened. I don't know if that anybody's been through that or anything like that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Another thing happened to me, sometimes when you do good deed, things happen in that nature. Also, I remember one day I took my son, my nephew, and my niece to go get some Slurpees, right? So I told him to go wait for me in the vehicle, and I was getting my Slurpee, and I come out of the store. As I come out of the store, out of the air, thin air, it's coming from the sky. I just see something fly in front of me, and it hits the ground, and it's spinning, and I'm looking at it to see what it is, and when it stops, it's a 50-cent piece, like a 50-cent piece. The 50-cent piece. That's what it was, and it's like, how did that happen? It's kind of like it teleported from a different time frame, and it just came out of thin air, like it appeared and landed in the ground right in front of me. I had that 50 cent in my wallet for the longest time. I don't know whatever it did to it, but it's kind of like it came from another how should I say, time frame. I've witnessed things like that where money appears out of nowhere, falls from the sky, or from a different, like, you can't see it and just appears. Like, I could be talking, it'll appear, and boom, it'll drop to the ground, appear out of nowhere. I don't know if anybody has experienced that, but it's happened to me. Uh, sure that sometimes you have to be alert, spiritual alert. I used to work at a Walmart distribution center here in Temple. I used to live in Killeen, and one morning I was driving, and I was going pretty fast, and the exit was there to exit. Next thing you know, as I'm exiting, there's a lady standing in the middle of the road, literally standing in the middle of the road, like she's just there looking at me, like she's expecting me to hit her or something, like somebody placed her there, and she's just standing there like she's like in a hypnotic trance of some sort. So I'm look at her, and I bypass her, and I dodge her. And then the other cars that are behind me, they see me how that moved, and they dodge her too. Uh, Sometimes this uh, demonic forces, they enter people of that nature, and they place them in those situations where they don't even know that they're standing there. They're feeling like the lady had like a blank stare in her face, like she wasn't, I should say, woken up, like she had just had a blank stare in her face. And I'm glad and I thank God that nothing happened. I was alert. Yeah, I've had numerous times where things like that happen. Whether it's my keys that I can't find, or I go start my vehicle don't want to start, and I'm messing with it. I'm messing with it, trying to figure out what's the matter with it. Then it finally starts. But by the time it starts, I find out that something bad happened on the road that I was supposed to take. Or when you travel the same path, and then for some reason your spirit tells you, hey, take the exit. Don't go that road. Take the exit. You take the exit and take a different route, and then you find out that, yeah, the Heavenly Father works through us in that manner. He lets us know when things are not right spiritually, and He guides us. Um, Man, I've been in so many situations like that, even spiritually. It's kind of like He shows me in advance in advance, you show me a picture of something, of somebody, how they look, that they're coming from a different state, that they're witches or warlocks, that I'm supposed to cross paths with them because I'm being shown spiritually I'm being shown spiritually. Then it happens, like I give it like a week, sometimes a couple of days, sometimes 2 weeks. And then when I see the individual, I recognize them because I've seen them in my dream. So I just stay spiritually alert and focused and ready, just in case they're trying to do something against me spiritually. I'll be able to fight against them spiritually. But the Heavenly Father shows you who your enemies are. Oh yeah. Uh, when I was fighting spiritually in Elms Grove, I had to leave my house. The reason I had to leave my house, because I would protect my house. I protect my house and I pray, keep it placed so nothing will be able to enter. But I will leave my house uh, to do a how should I say, a recon, a spiritual recon. I will leave my house and I will go to a certain location like the bench at the park, or I'll go for a walk just to see, do a recon of how much enemy was coming after me, because of the activity was happening. So I would do the recon, spiritual recon, and I would see it was a lot. So then I knew that when it was that many, that I had to really, literally had to stay awake all night and protect my home. When I would go home and they would try to come and enter the house spiritually, right? Trying to enter, I will fight spiritually, protect my entrances. You will see something out of the ordinary, like a shadow figure, or somebody standing there by the windows, or by the sliding door, or a shaking of or pounding of the walls or something. I will go into spiritual battle. I will fight spiritually. I had to protect the people that were within my household. But the spirit will let you know, just like you see right now. I'm talking, we're talking good, and there's always those people. Uh, I can call them trolls, but there it's more than that. I believe they don't believe in Jesus Christ like like I do or we do. So they just want to come and cause disruption, because that's what they believe in does. It wants to cause disruption on what's being said. That's what they focus on. Keeping your husband in prayer right now. What's the matter with your husband? Where is his pain at, Sister Jessica? Yes, we have to be spiritual alert at all times. You see in shadow figures in your home, take authority and right off the bat. They say, hey, I see you, welcome here, leave. And they leave. They'll take off because you're taking authority over them right off the bat, with no fear. Just tell them, you're not welcome here, leave now. you know they'll try to go after our loved ones. If they can get a hold of us, they try to go try to mess with our our children, our next of kin. That's what they do. I know they were trying to come after my son, and I protected my son and I guided my son spiritually, in which he changed his path, the path that he was on. It wasn't a bad path, but It could have been a bad bet because he had a spiritual opening, but he put a stop to that, because he started seeing all these things that were happening around him. He was feeling a certain way, and it's because they were trying to bond him, And I told him, I spoke to him, I told him, so you didn't even have to tell me how they look. I already know how they look because I seen it standing in the hallway, And I told it to leave, and he left. Uh, and I, and I told him what he was dealing with, to fight it spiritually, to tie bind and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. His public area. Yes, always keep your home blessed, cleansed, and protected. What I like to do is place heavenly crosses on my doorways and on my windows. Uh, and I go around praying every room to make sure I don't feel any unclean spirits. If I do feel there's a presence of unclean spirit, take authority over it, and I tie bind and rebuke it through Jesus Christ's name, and I send it away. I tell it it's not allowed here within my household, and I keep my house that get rid of negative energies. I don't have tourmaline there that protects also. But of course, when you're facing uh, unseen demonic entities, I call them the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. Uh, I fight them spiritually. I bind and rebuke them through Jesus Christ. Uh, they flee. They flee just like all the other things that Jesus Christ casted out. The legion flees. The devil flees. Any demon that people want to believe in, they have names, they flee. When it comes to when you tie bind and rebuke them through Jesus, you with the love foundation, you have the spiritual ability to tie bind and rebuke them through Jesus Christ's name. That flee. Just when I go out there in the woods and investigate, I don't know if y'all when I'm investigating, but for some reason my internet is like it wants to lose connection or something. It's been going in and out, in and out, in and out for a while now. Yeah, that's what it's doing right now. It's buffering. It's buffered 3 times as I'm talking about this because they don't want me to be talking about this. So they cause this kind of effect. There's no difference when I go investigate. When I go investigate, they literally break my live feeds, my connections. The energy from the phone, in which, but I still am able to capture them through my videos. Yeah, that's 3 times it did that. Probably the trolls trying to report my content. That's what they're doing. That they got nothing else better to do. They probably want me to help them, and they want me to put the banner of somebody's name behind me. But that's not what I do. This Jesus Christ got everything under control. In that situation with those individuals, Jesus Christ got everything under control. Everything is happening accordingly to how it's supposed to happen. Yeah, there's no unclean spirits here. Just sometimes that's what happens when interruptions. Just like the interruption of trolls when they come in and start trolling, interrupting a good live feed because they got nothing else better to do. Oh yeah, The deliverance prayer is very powerful. Now, getting to that, what I was talking about, certain events and situations that happen, uh, that it leaves you, when you go through something like that, right? It makes you more of a believer of Jesus Christ, because when you find out that something happened, I'll give an example of something like that. I'll give an example of something like that that happened. I was going towards Austin. A friend invited me and my son to go over there uh, for his birthday. So we were driving. We had barely gotten on 35, right? I was seeing this SUV that it seemed like it was following us, or something weird was happening, right? So this SUV was like right behind us. And as we're driving, next thing you know, that SUV goes sideways and it starts flipping. Boom, boom, boom. And you can see it where it's flipping, coming close to hit us in the back of the vehicle, but then it stopped its momentum. And we keep on driving. And I say, hey, let's pull over to the side. We need to call the cops. So we call the cops about the accident that happened. This SUV had to be going like 75 miles an hour. Uh, I believe what happened is there was a Mustang or Camaro behind them, and it hit him in the back, and it made him lose control of the vehicle, and it flipped sideways at 75 miles an hour. Till this day, I don't know whatever happened to those individuals, but I just felt something wasn't right when the SUV was behind us. Before we even got onto the highway, I felt something wasn't right spiritually. That something wasn't right. That something was going to happen, and it happened. Things like that. That's kind of like life. Life is kind of like that. Like, when people play chess or checkers, that which way you're going to move, which way you're going to go. Uh, we can't be thinking like that all the time, because then it will be considered paranoia, or it's a sin if you worry, right? So you're just supposed to go with the flow of things, go with life. Um, but if your spirit is letting you know something, you got to follow your spirit. I've been in many situations like that. There was one where I was driving. It was late at night. I was driving and I seen a semi truck, like pretty pretty far distance away from me. And as I was driving, it's kind of like my eyesight came back to me, and I'm like right behind the semi truck. It looks like I'm gonna hit it in the back, and I hit my brakes. I guess I had dozed off, and my foot, the weight, it pressed on the gas, and when I got awoken up, my spirit, I was like fixing to hit the back of that semi truck with my truck, and I freaked out with that. And it's like I hit the brakes. I went to the next rest area, pulled to the side, and I went to sleep. It could have been very tragic. You hear it all the time where people fall asleep behind the vehicle as they're driving. I witnessed something like that when I was going to San Diego. I drove to San Diego because my brother lives over there, and I was heading through this mountain range that it had a lot of stops because it was a high elevation mountain before going into San Diego. And I seen this man with his granddaughter, I believe, and they had like some kind of sofa in the back of their truck, and he was going pretty fast, right? So, as I'm going up the hill, he had passed me up, and he left me behind. All I remember is that as I was driving, I seen the couch that he had in the back of his truck in the middle of the road, just broken up in pieces. And as I looked forward, I seen skid marks. I guess where he hit the brakes or whatever. He might have dozed off, and I seen the black things of the skid marks that it went off the mountain. So I stopped to look, but it was so dark you couldn't see how far down it was. So I don't know. I'm thinking that they didn't make it, that they went off the mountain, because the way the the sofa was and the skid marks that you know that the family, the father and granddaughter didn't make it, that they went off the mountain. Yeah, the tire marks, where you hit the brakes. I just did the sign of the cross. I mean, that's all I could do. Didn't have no my phone didn't work up there. You had no connection on top of the mountain range. So, but the only way that they will be able to find those individuals is if they never made a home, to file a missing report, they go down and try to find them. Yeah, I've seen like truckers, I see a lot of accidents, that can scar them for the rest of the life. Um, but yeah, I've witnessed a lot of things in that nature. I think spring break, it was a spring break. I was in the military going back home, and there was some spring breakers. They were speeding, going like 100 and something miles, passes up, you know. And the first thing that I thought to myself was this: they're going to get in a car crash. They're going to wreck as fast as they're going. And when we kept on going forward, like maybe 10 more miles, there they were. They were flipped over on the side of the road in the ditch. I got off because I was a combat lifesaver in the military, because of a course I took, right? And I helped get three of them out of there. The girlfriend had the leg cut open, and the guy that was driving, he was bleeding severely from his face. He had broken his nose. I think he's broken in his arm because a bone was sticking out. And I was trying to help him, get him, because he was pinned upside down, and he was just bleeding. And I was trying to help him off, and then I hear somebody say, "I'm a nurse. You need to get out of the way, because they're licensed." So I said, "Okay." So I helped the other people. I helped them out already, and she was there with the guy that was pinned upside down. So that's when I left. Yeah, I felt the people. Uh, Here in Georgetown, there's this it's called Gabriel River, and there was like a cliff where people would jump off of it. You climb it with a rope and you jump off of it during the summer. I was there. That was the first time I was ever there. Uh, Being in the army, I was like at that time I was like 21, and I was there, and some guys were climbing and jumping off of it. Then all of a sudden, both of them jump, and one's behind them on his back, right? And they land in the water. When they land in the water, one comes up and the other one doesn't. So everybody that's along the riverbank jumps in and dives in looking for him. So they finally put him out of the water, and they take him to the side, and we I start getting him mouth to mouth, trying to to see if he was, give him, start trying to flush the water out of his lungs, trying to do do the maneuvers for that, and the other people were helping me out too. Then I noticed that when we were doing that, that blood was coming out of his mouth. No, I just like, I don't know what blood is coming out of his mouth. We're just trying to get him to breathe. So then a lady that was a RN and an ambulance showed up, and they put on a mask on him, and I told them that they need to get the water out of his lungs, But I found out he was a soldier, and like I found out a week later what happened is when the guy jumped on his back that he broke his back, so that's why he was bleeding because he had a broke back and he died, So when he died there at that place, they banned the soldiers from going to that location. That we wasn't allowed to go there no more because of what had happened. And but yeah, I seen that guy pass away. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things where people have crossed over. Uh, you're placed in those areas for a reason. You're placed there to help. Uh, one of my the guy that was on my tank, uh, he was on top of the tank. It was hot, and he wasn't drinking enough water. And I told him, "You need to drink water, man." He didn't want to listen. Next thing you know, he's standing on top of the tank, and he falls right over it. He lands to the ground, and he's like his skin starts cracking. His skin starts cracking open in his face too, and that's a sign of that the person is dehydrated. So I grabbed a big jug of water and I poured it on him, on his body, and I started giving him a little bit of water in the mouth. Not to drink, but like little. Supposed to put a little bit of drops of water. So I had to call the MP, the medics. I went with the medics with him. We were taking him to the hospital. Next thing you know, the medic Humvee gives out, the radiator gives out, and he's stuck out there, and I'm there still trying to help him. They put an IV, give him an IV bag, and we finally another vehicle comes. We transfer him over to another vehicle and take him to the hospital. When he's there at the hospital, they give him another two IV bags. They give him like three IV bags. They said that he could have died if we wouldn't have reacted to it. And after that, he started to he after going through that experience, he started drinking water. I was trying to tell him, I was coming from this guy's had never been to the desert. I've been to the desert, so I know how when it's hot you got to drink water or you dehydrate. He didn't want to listen, and that happened to him. Yeah, his skin literally started cracking open, like because he had no body in his water. Imagine the people that get lost in the woods and they don't have no water source. There's certain things that you can do to get water, especially at nighttime. Like if you got like a little plastic bag, uh, but or it's just if you don't find the water and you're out there lost, uh, after a while, you're walking around trying to find your way. What you're supposed to do if you get lost is stay put in the location you're at, because if somebody knows that you're out there, they're going to try to find you. So you're not supposed to go trying your way, trying to find your way out, because then you could get uh, deeper into the woods. Oh yeah, I've been out there in the desert. I would drink a lot of water out there. I'm talking about liters and liters of water, like cases and cases of water, or else you'll dehydrate. Then what's weird about the desert is during the day it's hot, you need the water. Then at nighttime it gets real cold, but you still need to drink the water because if not, you'll get dehydrated. In the desert, you drink the water, it's just like you drink it, the water comes right out of your body pores. You can drink a lot of water, and you still weigh. I had lost so much weight when I was in the desert. I was weighing like 155 pounds. 155 pounds. Even when I would go as a when I was a sergeant, when I was older, I think I would come back weighing uh, like 190, 195, where I lost a lot of weight. But that's what the desert will do. But there's other things in the desert that's dangerous for you. The bugs, there's flying sand fleas. They got cobras, vipers, scorpions, flies, a lot of flies that if you open up, you can open up, you could have a like a apple and you're fixing to bite. Next thing you know, all the flies come to your apple. So if you eat something, you gotta eat it with a hidden, with a underneath a fly net or something because they'll come. The flies will come real fast in the desert. Yeah, but in the military, just give us water, a lot of water. You know, there was the bottled water we were drinking over there was called Medina Medina water, which they had water plants in the ocean. So where they were getting the water sources was from the ocean through those water plants. You know, instead of the United States digging for oil, they could get the water from the ocean and recycle it and purify it. The Saudi Arabians that have plants in the ocean, water plants where they get the water and they recycle it and purify it. Yeah, there's a lot of flies in the desert. Lots of flies. Yeah, the camel spiders, they'll chase you. Those camel spiders are not afraid of you. They look at you, you look at the little camel spider, you're like, I ain't gonna do nothing, man. It charges at you. Like it wants to fight you, wants to attack you, tries to jump on you. We call them the camel spiders. They have different kinds of lizards. Uh, they have some giant lizards over there, man. Just put it this way: we was training, was doing a maneuver in the desert out there near the Iraqi border, and we had a nickname for this lizard that was in, or a giant reptilian lizard. We call it Godzilla. That's what we call it, Godzilla. And I call it Godzilla, and my driver will call it the Dragon's Lair because it was that big. Just put it this way: we seen it bathing in the sun, and it was bigger than the tank. That's how big it was, humongous. That when we passed it up. The lizard was just looking at us. He wasn't afraid of the tank. That's how big it was. I don't know what kind of, maybe it was some kind of iguana or komodo. I don't know. I would say iguana. I don't know. It was just huge. It didn't look like it was. I never seen a lizard that big before. I'm not talking about little lizard. I'm talking about like an iguana or some kind of dragon, desert dragon or something. But it was huge. It was colored green. And it was just staring at us. No, there wasn't. I'm just saying, I never got too close to it, man, because it was freaking bigger than the tank. It was longer than the tank. So I didn't want to know. I didn't want to find out if it was a vegetarian lizard or whatever the hell it was, or it was carnivorous, because I wasn't from the desert, so I don't know what kind of uh, I should say reptilians they have out there. For all I know, it could have been a Komodo, a Komodo dragon, in the desert. Or I don't know. All I know, to me, it looked prehistoric, man. It didn't look like it was from this time era. It was humongous. It was longer than the tank, and the tanks are pretty big. And we passed right by it, and it didn't even budge. It didn't even move. It didn't even move or run away or nothing. It was just standing its ground, like just looking at us. It was big. No, I haven't seen the trailers for the new Eat series. I don't think it was an iguana. You see, I'm not from the terrain, so I don't know what lies in the terrain. I know that they will talk about like in the Mongolian that there is some kind of Mongolian earthworm that does attack. That it attacks the people, and when it bites them, when it stings them. It's kind of like a how should I say? It's kind of like the venom makes a person like tranquilizes them, like makes them feel tired. So every time he strikes them, it makes them more tired and more tired. And after that, as they pass out from the stings, he comes and grabs them and takes them underground. Yeah, there's yeah, the thing that I seen in the desert was that I ran into was a djinn, the jinn. They're out there, man, in the desert. They're they act the same way as the what I call the disembodied demonic Nephilim, which are demonic. They're mischievous. They like playing games. They can mimic voices. They take the operation or manifestation of uh, shadow figures. That's how they manifest. They look pretty tall, pretty intimidating when you see something standing that's probably like around 9 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot tall, standing by where you're burning your trash. Uh, at nighttime, you burn the trash during the day, and then the night, there's still, if you put on your night vision, you could still see some heat, from whatever's hot inside there. Well, imagine you seeing something standing around the pit where you burn the trash, and it's like 9 foot, 10 foot tall, and there's like 10 or 12 of them standing around there. So what do you do? I will go into prayer. Um, I don't think uh, about them. To my understanding, I heard it was a hoax. That's what I heard. It was a hoax. That it wasn't real. That but I don't know. I wasn't there to tell you. But at that same time frame that happened, that's when they had the list of the Epstein's Island of the pedophiles that went to Epstein Island. It was the same day that happened. So I'm thinking that they did that intentionally to try to get people focused on something else instead of the list that was coming out of the people that went to Epstein's Island. Just my opinion. No, I seen UFOs in the military without no night vision. Out there in California, in Fort Irwin, uh, we seen one where it was doing a figure eight, and it was going slow at first. You know that you could see the different colors that it had: blue, red, uh, like yellow. It would turn like white. Different colors that it was producing when it was doing the figure eight. But then all of a sudden, it started going real fast, super fast. And we were looking at it, and like it was me and my TC. We're like, "You see that?" And he's doing a figure eight right in front of us. He's doing a figure eight. It's not like probably like I would say like 150 to 200 feet up in the air in front of us, and we're seeing it. And it's just doing the figure eight. It goes straight up into the atmosphere, shoots up real fast. And when it shoots up real fast with the atmosphere, you can see it no more. But when it was moving slow, you could see like different lights. At first, we thought it was a satellite of some sort, right? But then the way it was moving, so that's no satellite. And just this happened, I would say, like in 2000 and like 2004, when I was out there in Fort Irwin when that happened. But it went straight into the atmosphere. But you got to remember, we were in Fort Irwin, California, which is a military base where we train. So was that military technology, advanced technology that the government has, that they were testing it out, like because they can see where we're at through the satellite. They know where the tanks are because like tanks have uh, a satellite where they know where we're at with satellites. They can see your position. So I'm thinking that what we were seeing moving was actually military. They were testing some kind of equipment, and they want to go mess with us just to see what we're gonna do or whatever. So they're probably like, hey, let's go mess with this tank over here, because I know uh, military people are. So, it just moved real fast and went up. Was it a spaceship? Was it a I'm not going to say spaceship. What was it? That moved so fast that it went into the atmosphere, like supersonic speed, like too fast. Somebody says, "Do you believe in Bigfoot?" Well, I don't know if I say I'm not going to say I believe in Bigfoot. Just like I can't say I believe in many other things, werewolves or vampires. Even though I've seen things, but just because you see something doesn't mean that it's real. That sometimes that you see something is because it's coming from the spiritual realm, and it manifests that way because it wants you to believe, right? So if you were to see a vampire, I'm just going to give some examples, or you see a werewolf, like literally you see the werewolf how it looks, and you're seeing it and it's looking at you, but it's not charging you or attacking you. So it keeps you with a question mark, right? Like, well, if it's something beastly like this, or if it was a Bigfoot, right? How come it's not attacking? How come it's not coming at me? So you gotta think: is it really what I'm seeing real, or is it something that's spiritual? So that's when you put it to the test. You say, "I tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name," and if it vanishes and it smells like sulfur or pestilence, then it's not a Bigfoot, a dogman, or werewolf, or any kind of cryptid, right? It would mean that it's something demonic. just like the UFO when the way it was acting, and then it went up in the sky. It went, no, I can't give belief to something I don't understand, right? So I'm not going to give that power, because it could be a demon, right? Lucifer was an angel of light. It could be a demon that's doing that just to see what you're going to do if you're going to believe that it's a UFO. You get it? Believe. So if you believe into what you're seeing or witnessing, then it's got a domain over you, because you're giving it the belief factor. That's why you can't believe in it, because to them it's power. Yeah, it's called spiritual manifestations. They can manifest to look like something to deceive you, to trick you. That's why I guess it would be better safe for you to have cautiousness. So if you're cautious and you're not believing of what you're seeing, then in a sense of way you're being protected through the cautiousness, because you're not giving it power through belief. It's when you take away the cautiousness, which is your spirit warning you something ain't right. You take away the cautiousness and you give it the belief. And if it's not something that's in the flesh or real, then it's going to try to attack you spiritually. So cautiousness, being cautious, is a good thing. I think it's your spirit that letting you know something ain't right. That's why I believe in Jesus Christ. But the only thing that the Bigfoot people have is the film, the Patterson film, because all the other ones that I've seen are all people in costume, in which there hasn't been a body found of a Bigfoot for me to say that they exist. So I can say I believe in them. If even though I witnessed one, but the one I witnessed was massive. This sucker, it was weird. I was coming out of the woods and it was coming into the woods, and as wide as it was like 12 foot, 13 foot tall, real wide. I would say like 10 foot, 12 foot wide. I was going out of the woods. It was coming in the woods. I could see his dark silhouette, and I thought he was going to hit me, but it didn't hit me. It went right through me. So it went into the woods. I went onto the street, and as I was walking, I started feeling weird, like something was trying to possess my body. So I was praying and praying and praying, and I wasn't feeling good. Like something was trying to take over my body. This was me brushing against what looked to be a Bigfoot, right? So I prayed against it. Didn't go straight home. Went to the park, and I was fighting there spiritually. I called upon Jesus Christ to help me. But what seemed to be a Bigfoot was not a Bigfoot, because whatever it was had the ability to possess, and it was trying to possess me. And I fought against it, which the only thing that can possess in that manner is something demonic. It looked like a Bigfoot, but when it went through me, you figure, because it said Bigfoot are supposed to be flesh blood creatures. I thought I was going to feel an impact, that it was going to hit me, and maybe it was going to attack me. It went right through me. I didn't feel no impact, but as it went right through me, it tried to possess me, like literally tried to take over my body. But I fought it spiritually. So I would suggest to you, you can't give anything the belief factor, because what if what you're believing is something demonic? Basically what I'm saying, you're giving it a free opening to attack your vessel, your body, if you're believing in it. Demon can disguise itself as anything because it wants you to believe in it. So it don't care if it dresses up as a Bigfoot or a dogman or a alien, a gray alien, green alien, a fairy, a leprechaun. Doesn't care. So long you believe in it, it's all that matters that it wants. Because it wants to find a spiritual opening to attack your vessel. That's why I say to whoever tells me here that I believe in this and that, so I know things exist, but I'm not going to give it the belief factor in any kind of way, shape, or form, because I know how this DDN, or what I call disembodied demonic Nephilim, they're very, how should I say, tricky. They try to deceive people. That's what they do. Well, they do manifest in that form. I need to go get me another water. Let me take you all inside real quick with me, so I'm gonna get me some water. I got thirsty out here. Yeah, they act that way, like children sometimes. Let me get this water real quick. There's my dog right there. Rebel. Why do you think demons impersonate children at nighttime, like 3 in the morning? Or they might impersonate a woman yelling for help. They impersonate them because they know that human beings, when they hear children or women, that they're going to react to it, right? Especially if it's in the middle of the night. The reason they mimic them that way, right? I say impersonate, but mimic is the same thing. Is because they want to draw you to come outside. Because they know you have a spiritual opening. They know what path you're on. So when they're trying to lure you aside, they're trying to see if you're gonna go outside, so they can try to attack you spiritually. But when you have no fear, right, and you place Jesus Christ first, what do? You go out and fight spiritually because you already know what you're dealing with. It's not no children at 3 in the morning. It's the demons that are mimicking the voices of children. Yeah, children. Sometimes baby crying. But children definitely, I've heard where there's a boy and a girl that they've been making the noises of a boy and a girl. But you got to remember one thing: for those that know about sleep paralysis, you know that the succubus and the incubus or a male and a female, supposedly, right? Male demon, female demon. So they can mimic the voice of a child, of a female, of a little boy and a little girl, which is actually them trying to lure you to go outside. They can attach themselves to you, and then they take a free ride into your home. You go lay down, and they try to mess with you in your sleep. in your dreams through sleep paralysis and nightmares, and can even cause you to sleepwalk. Yeah, they've done it. They've done that for. They've been doing that for a very long time. Like I said, sometimes when I run into them spiritually and I'm fighting spiritually, they try to tell me they've been here for a very long time. Which means since the beginning of time. But they 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 continue to do the things that they do. Look at all the empires that have fallen. The bigger question is, why did those empires fall? No, the pyramids, uh, empires of back in the day. You want to talk about all the conquerors, all the kings, and all these people that their empires crumbled. What will make an empire crumble? The pharaohs, the Aztecs, the Mayans, all this pyramid, this cultures with pyramids. What were they worshiping? What were they believing in them that made them build this pyramid like things? Because somebody, there were sacrifices done there in these pyramids, blood sacrifices, you know, where a lot of spirits were being lost. The only thing that I know of that dislikes mankind and wants mankind to not follow Jesus Christ or be what's fallen, like the Washers, which is called the Anunnaki, Apakulu. Then the disembodied demonic Nephilim we know as demons, which were the Nephilim, but they're in disembodied form. They're the ones that would do that. Uh, since, they were destroying all of God's creations, which would mean that the reason they were destroying it because there wasn't created out of God's image. So they were destroying anything that God created. So when you hear about the pyramids and the things that the pyramids were doing, like the blood sacrifices, the witchcraft, the necromancy, and all this, it's because they were being deceived by the fallen. Um, so they're the ones that most likely have crumbled empire after empire throughout the centuries. It's kind of like what we're going through right now. We're going to be going through some kind of trial and tribulation, which we have to maintain our love foundation. It's kind of like this: when it happens, where do you want to be at? Do you want to be on the road? Do you want to be at the nightclub? Where do you want to be when it's that time that we're going to get tested spiritually uh, to be able to fight spiritually? What are you going to be doing at that time when it happens, right? Are you going to be ready to be able to fight spiritually? Now, I've seen a lot of things in this nature that's to come. You want to call them premonitions, but the only thing I can tell you is this: that sometimes we cannot look too much into what we're seeing. We just have to leave it up to Jesus Christ and not to look too much into it. We're just supposed to place Jesus Christ first and continue to maintain the love foundation. And whenever things do happen, that it's whatever nature it happens, we're just going to have to handle it accordingly at that time. But for right now, time doesn't wait for nobody. We see people come and go out of this world. Just the question I would want to ask to the numerous people that come out in and out of this world is, did they prepare themselves spiritually to be able to ascend to make it into the kingdom of heaven? And like I said, God is the one that's going to judge us at the end. So only He knows, right? Who's worthy and who's not worthy. I believe that we're all in some kind of way have not lived in sin, not that we're living in the sin, but when the unseen forces try to put stuff in our head, implement stuff in our head, images, or try to say something negative, that we have to say a tie binary rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, or you pray against what they're trying to show you. No, in that kind of way, that it's still kind of some kind of corruption, right? That's why we have to stay strong. And it's not you thinking that way. When a thought that you don't even think about comes into your mind, that's not, and that's not the way you think. Well, guess what? It's not because that's not you thinking it. It's coming to you spiritually, because sometimes that's how they attack spiritually, by sending an image to your mind. And if it's something bad, like, for example, that somebody you know is getting in a car crash or something in nature, you rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. You pray for those people. You do the opposite of what's being shown to you. You pray for them, because you don't want nothing uh, to happen to those individuals. It's like one time I was seeing somebody driving a vehicle a certain way, and I thought to myself, man, the way they're driving, they're going to wind up hurting somebody or something in that nature, right? So instead of me saying, for example, well, I take that back, I pray for them for something that happened, I was busy doing something else that I forgot to pray, right? This is back when I was younger, when I didn't have the wisdom and knowledge I have now, and not even like a day or two later, that individual went up getting in a car crash, in which I believe when I was shown that, or I thought that it was shown, or for me to pray for them, for nothing to happen to them. So that's what we have to do. If you see an image of something, someone that something might happen to them, we're not supposed to think about it like that it's going to happen. We're supposed to pray against it. That's why it's being shown to us that way. Or whatever is showing us this image is because it's not good. And it happened when I was driving. The way they were driving, that I seen that image. Yeah. Well, that's how they attack spiritually too. The unseen forces. Uh, just like when I go into the woods, you know, it's more of spirit. I'm not going to say telepathically. It's more of spirit. You know, your spirit lets you know. It'll let you know how many there are. Sometimes there are a lot. So, and the reason there are a lot is because they're making different noises. Some might be growling, some might sound like a pig, some might sound like a dog, some might sound like deers where they're snout sounding. Then you hear a woman talking, you hear a child talking, you hear branches breaking around you. You hear somebody cussing at you. So just by the ones that I just mentioned, that's already a lot around you. So that's telling me fight spiritually, do the sign of the cross. And I say, tie bind and rebuke you, whatever's around me spiritually, you're not allowed to affect me. I tie bind and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Stay away from me. I take authority over them. But they come in numbers, tens, 20, could be many. And that's sometimes I catch many on my videos where there's like 4, 5, 6 standing behind in the wood line. They're looking. You can see their beastly manifestation, their faces, how they look. Some might look like trolls. Some might look like werewolves. Some might look like squatches. Different manifestations that they take. They don't take the same manifestation all the time. It's different manifestations. So, uh, it's kind of like when somebody, the mind readers or the psychics, they said to open themselves up to spirits and stuff. That's dangerous right there, because what I witness out there, how they come, and if you got a psychic saying that if there's any spirits to come to them, you got to remember they're disembodied spirits also. Demons are the DDN. They're disembodied demonic spirits, or disembodied, yes, disembodied form, or unclean. They're unclean disembodied form demonic spirits, right? So if somebody was opening up to that, well, that's what's going to come and enter their body, and it's not going to. Like I said, it hates humans, so it's going to try to destroy that. The person that's giving up the body to be used as a vessel to communicate is going to want to destroy that body. That's exactly what I'm telling you. They don't know who they know. I mean, they know what what they're doing. You don't see them. You don't see them doing works through Jesus Christ. Just put it that way. So they know what they're doing, which there will be considered some kind of form of a witch. That's exactly because they know what they're doing, and what they're really doing is when they open up this portals, right? Because they're opening the soul, they're being used, then the demons can come out of them and transfer to the people that are within that, should I say, the science or the circle, or the communicant, that it can transfer to them and attach itself to them. But they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But are they really psychics and mediums? Not if they're working for the other side. And I mean, they might communicate, but what they're communicating is not to spirits of people that were their life ones. What they're communicating is the mimicking of the demonic forces to trick the people that it's their loved ones communicating with them. So when they believe, get it? I said it. When you believe, somebody said, "Do you believe in Bigfoots?" When you believe, then you're giving it the spiritual opening for it to attack you. So that's what they do. Psychics and mediums, fortune tellers, same thing. They open themselves up to that, get demonized because they enter them. It's a form of possession. The communication that's communicating is something that's demonic, something unclean. But remember, demons can mimic voices. Demons can mimic your loved ones' voices, so they think they're talking to their loved ones, but they're really talking to something that's demonic. Then they start believing it's their loved one, but it's a demon mimicking their loved one's voice, and he has a spiritual opening on them to attack them. And everybody there is screwed. The people that are there paying money to the psychic's screwed because she's done letting them in, so she's already, it's an open threshold to get spiritually attacked daily because she allows it. Then the people that are believing in it's their loved one, they're getting spiritually attacked by the demons that are going through her and to them because of the belief factor. Yes, yes, they do. I'm just sharing my wisdom and knowledge to y'all. I've seen a fortune teller. Well, I didn't know it was a fortune teller. Well, she told me she was a gypsy. Same thing, gypsy, fortune teller. But the gypsy I was talking to was when I was in Germany. I was 19. She was young. I think she was like 20 or 21. And I was walking with her after the club had closed. We were walking. She had her bike, but she was walking beside me, and she was taller than me. And she told me, invited me to her home. I could spend the night on her couch because I still had a good ways to go to the billets. And I said, sure. I slept. I was laid down on her couch, and then she told me I could lay down in the room. To make a long story short, I woke up. She wasn't laying there in the bed. Then I seen somebody. It was just a little apartment. It had a kitchen and a bedroom. Somebody was blocking the doorway, and I could hear something thumping on the ground. When I looked, I could see something shiny, which was a piece of glass that they broke from a mirror. They were slamming it on the ground, and I thought it was a girl. But when I looked at her, it was no girl. It was an old lady with white hair, and she was naked. Her eyes were rolled back white. I went around her. Could see like foam coming out of her mouth, and I was like, "What happened to the young girl I was talking to? That's my age." So I figured that what I was really witnessing was what I witnessed of the young girl wasn't the girl. There was just a manifestation that it took. The real her was that old lady that was breaking the thing on the ground in the mirror, on the ground. I was able to get out of there and go to safety. Just put it that way. I never ran. I was 19. I never ran so hard in my life. I was so freaked out. I was already a long distance runner that I literally ran past the guards, and I didn't even go through the main gate. I ran and jumped the fence. I jumped the fence just to make it onto base, to get close to the billets, to go to my room. That's how freaked out I was when I witnessed that. Imagine you're talking all night to a girl that's 21. I was 19. You go to their house. They invite you to sleep there by them. You see how they look. Then you wake up and there's a old lady with her eyes rolled back white and foam coming out of her mouth. Piece of of glass, sticking it on the wooden floor real hard, and blood's coming out of the hand. Yeah, I was kind of freaked out. I think if me and Forrest Gump had a competition, I would have beat Forrest Gump. I would have ran like twice as fast as him. I was running pretty fast that night. Happened early in the morning. This happened in Erlangen, Germany. And what was weird, they had a strawberry fest, and there was a statue of supposedly a witch that lived in that area. They said that she would come out during the strawberry fest, at the time of the strawberry fest, that she would lure young men, because she would change to the appearance of a beautiful woman. But when I seen the statue of how the witch looked, well, it looked like the old lady that was slamming the glass on the floor. So it's kind of like that was the last time that I spoke to a German female while I was there. I just stuck to shooting pool and drinking beer. That was it. Yeah, when you go through something like that, it changes your life forever. It's like you're never the same. But when I seen the statue of the witch, how she looked like like the old lady that was on the ground. Sometimes you don't know when you're in a foreign country, things that are around there. I know there's a lot of javelinas in the wolf. Man, I don't know why I said wolf, but there's a lot of javelinas in the woods. But I think there's a lot of other things in the woods too over there in Germany. It's just I'm glad I didn't stay there long enough to find out what's in the woods. 'Cause I had an experience in the woods. I mean, yeah, a wild boar tried to attack me a couple of times. You know, they're pretty big. The wild boars are as big as cows in Germany. There was one day I was training my spiritual senses, and I was doing some martial arts in the woods in Germany at nighttime. It was like around 10 o'clock, 10:30, and I'm practicing on this tree. The trees are not too big, but all I know is I hit this tree, and the tree fell down. You know, I had a blindfold. It was like pure energy. And when the tree fell, I'm looking at my hands like, whoa, did I do that? You know, I'm looking at my hands like this spiritually, you know, like with the she. And I'm looking at my hands like, wow, you know, I just knocked this tree down, you know. Next thing you know, I hear from a distance, boom, boom, like something's falling. And then boom, boom, more trees are falling. And I'm looking, imagine you're in the woods looking like this, and you hear boom, boom, and then you start seeing the trees that you can see closer falling, and they're coming towards you, and they're coming closer and closer and closer. Man, I took off. I was like, yeah, I knocked out one tree, but whatever that is knocking down a lot of trees. So I felt that I wasn't spiritual ready to face whatever that was. So I left. I left out of the woods and went back to the billets, and it's like that was the last time I trained in the woods in Germany. With the duende, I've had some experience with something like that. Uh, my cousin, she said she had an experience with a duende where they were walking by the woods, and she could hear somebody calling their names, and it was mimicking different voices. But that she said it was a duende. It was a they live in the woods, so they can mimic voices. Uh, when I think of duende, if there was a movie to describe a duende, would be the movie. I know you remember this movie, Phantasm. Remember Phantasm, where they had like some little midgets that were dressed druid like. Well, that would be something like a duende, which would be like a little gnome of some sort, you know. Uh, but yeah, I hear about the duendes. My cousin says there's duendes down there in the valley where she comes from, in the small town of Hargill, Texas. I've never personally had an encounter, but I've had encounters with like little things like around this big that looks like that look like they're like cats, but they're not cats, and they're black, but they're like around this big. And when they target like your midsection, and they try to go in through your midsection area. So to me, they're like unclean spirits. So I had an encounter with one of them, and I remember I prayed, rebuked it in Jesus Christ's name. They pretend to be cats, but they're not cats. Yeah, yeah. I seen something, but I'm thinking it was like a familiar. Stepped out of my room in my mobile home. As soon as I step out of my room, to the left is my laundry room. So when I stepped out, on top of my dryer was this furry creature that had his looked like a human face, and he said his hair combed sideways, and he was looking at me, and he had literally human features, and he gave me a little smile, and as he was looking at me and I was looking at it, On my door, I had my bat. I said, okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and I'm gonna hit it with a bat. So as it's looking at me and it's giving me the smile, I just pulled the bat, swung at it. He seen the bat coming and he opened his little eyes and he freaking jumped. The feet looked like human feet. He had like little human hands, but it's like it was fur, like fur. But the face, you could see like the face of a human, and the hair was like slick, like it was combed sideways and stuff. The only thing I could think, that if there was a logical explanation, I would say maybe possibly a mole, but nah, I can't say it was a mole because it had the face of a human, like human characteristics, and he had little hands and he had little feet, but the body of like an animal. It was I guess it was like let me see, uh, around this tall, a little bit taller, probably like that tall. Would be like maybe a foot tall, foot and a half tall. And it was no possum because I know how possums look. I know how raccoons look. I never seen anything like this before. So when I hit it, I bended my dryer when I hit it because I hit it with full force, and he jumped over, went through where the water pipes were, and went through the gap. It went out through there. But the way he was looking at me, I mean, I wasn't afraid of it, but he was looking at me with this little smirk, like it was like gave me like this smart at like a smart aleck smirk, like gave me this kind of little sideways smile. It was crazy. No, this one wasn't wearing no hat. This one had his hair combed sideways. I mean, it could have been possibly a shapeshifter too, for all I know, because they can mimic anything. Yeah, cosa cosa mugrosa, cosa mala. The dirty room, unclean things come when you have a dirty room. That's where you have to keep your house clean. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. The way his freaking hair was combed sideways and the way it was looking at me. I swung with everything I had, trying to hit it. But he left. He didn't have like any sharp claws, like sharp nails or sharp toenails, because I could see the feet and the hands. It's just like the way it was looking at me, like it was looking at me like a regular person would look, but he looked at me like he had some kind of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, we're gonna find out how intelligent you are when I swing this bat. You know, I swung at it. He reacted to it, took off real fast, and I didn't see a tail on it like a possum would have. It had no tail. I just seen the feet, the little feet. Looked like people, like a person's feet. I don't know what kind of creature that would be. It was a creature or it was a. I lived there for many years, and that was the first time I ever seen something like that. You know, so I would probably would assume either shapeshifter or some kind of what do you call it? Familiar, a witch is familiar. Yeah, see how my hair is? His hair was more slick than mine. His hair, he even had like a little part on the side where it was perfectly combed like that, and this was like slick. slick to the side, you know. I was like, God dang, what the hell is this that I'm witnessing, you know? But I tried to take it out. It was something that was living, uh, but no, it's like I just hit the dryer and it took off. Yeah. I seen an alien and go like this. I was doing my regular exercise. It was an old brown vehicle that was passing beside me, you know, when I was walking. I was in the mobile home park, I was walking. Next thing you know, I seen the driver waving at me. And when I look at his hand, he's got long fingers. And he's waving at me. When I look at the face, it looks green and he's got big old black eyes. And he's just waving at me like this. And I'm like, I know it's not Halloween. What did I'm like, what did I just witness? You know? I don't know if that happens where people make contact with him and they're saying hi to him in some kind of way, but it was literally saying hi to me and he had long fingers and it was green. He had big old black eyes. He was driving a car. Not unless it broke his identity, and because I knew I knew the driver of the vehicle was an old lady. Not unless the old lady was just a disguise and the true self of her is that she's alien. But you know, we got the DDN. It could have been a manifestation. I don't know. It was just weird. Had a big old head, color green with big old black eyes, and the hands were real long with long fingers, saying hi to me as we're driving in the vehicle. And I'm like, what did I just witness? Is it real? You know, is it just me, my imagination playing tricks? It was one of those incidents that I'll never forget. Yeah, that's what they do. They play games like that. They'll mess with you just to see, just like I was getting bombarded. I was seeing all kinds of stuff. I seen that. I was seeing this pyramid-like aircraft with little red spaceships coming out of it. I was seeing. I had already experienced the dogman. I was seeing dark shadow figures. I experienced a reptilian. I was experiencing all kinds of stuff that I said, you know what? I'm not putting no foil paper on my head. Like I'm not putting no foil paper on my head because of the pyramid like aircraft is flying over my house. I'm not putting no foil paper on my head. I think they're just an illusion. I said all these things that I'm seeing is because they're all of the same source, which they're all demonic. How can you see? Explain this to me. How can you see shadow figures, uh, dogman, Bigfoots, alien, reptilian, pan, lechusas, voodoo priestess, uh, witches and warlocks all at once in the same location? To me, that's because it's more of a spiritual battle. That's what I believe. That's when everything is shows up at the same time because you're being spiritually targeted and they're coming for you. They got a spiritual hit on you and they're coming in all their manifestations to try to attack you. Oh, the shadow figures I was seeing in Elms Grove would be like I would say 8 to 9 foot tall. That's how tall they'd be there. That you'll be able to see them moving in the park. Pretty tall. 6, no, 6, 7, tall, like 7, 8, 9 foot, where they can be looking. They're very tall, but that's some manifestations that they take. I hope you're liking tonight's conversation. I know y'all got to get some rest and stuff like that, and I just want to say thank y'all for those that just tuned in to talk with me. Conversate with me, and I see what y'all saying, and I answer back to what y'all saying. And at the same time, a little bit after 2 o'clock. I mean, I don't know what time it is right now, but that's when the trolls start coming out. But I hope you enjoyed tonight's conversation. I'm gonna try to do some lives with people. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do them lives at nighttime, but during the afternoons, if I do decide to do some, have some guests on, and y'all can watch the replays. Or if y'all enjoy just conversating like the way we do here, just talk about everything in general. That's pretty cool too. Uh, and time goes by fast when you're having a good time and just having a conversation. I know I'm talking here to y'all like this, but it's like, to me, it's like y'all here with me and we're just discussing. Yeah, yeah, them trolls. I would invite those trolls to go into the area in Elms Grove. I'm more than sure I would know what will happen to those trolls over there. It wouldn't be pretty for them, so I wouldn't even invite my worst enemies there because they would get spiritually attacked. They wouldn't be ready for what's there in Elms Grove. It's pretty bad there. Just imagine just standing in one place, standing by yourself, and you're hearing somebody running around you, the footsteps, but there's nobody that you're seeing physically. But you could hear footsteps running around you. If you kneel down to the ground, you hear the footsteps where they're running around you, and you can hear the leaves crackling, branches branches breaking. But there's somebody literally running around you. You can hear the footsteps and everything. That's how bad of a that's how much activity is there, and there's just a little bit out of it. Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch is, to me, they say money revenue, so they're trying to put it out there. I'm more sure there's activity like that there, but there's activity everywhere, not just on Skinwalker Ranch. All this area where I live, in Central Texas, used to be Indian burial grounds. There's some unmarked markers where I'm more sure it was Indian burial grounds where there's a lot of activity. So it's not just Skid Rocker Ranch. I think they're just overdoing it with a lot of stuff. I don't even watch it, honestly. I think I watched one episode and I didn't feel nothing for the show, so I just stopped watching it. And so it's like, I said, man, if they think that's bad, they should go to Elms Grove. It's a lot worse there. But I know that's what it's called, Skinwalker. What do you think it's called, Skinwalker Ranch? Because that's the name of the ranch, right? But that's because they're trying to promote revenue for the ranch. But it's kind of dumb because skinwalkers, they're everywhere. They're just not in one ranch. So it's kind of like, oh, our ranch has skinwalkers. over here in Central Texas, there's a bunch of skinwalkers and shapeshifters. I've run into them, so it's not just about Skinwalker Ranch is a place to be, But I don't think I wouldn't mind if because I'm one of those people that I'm spiritually gifted and I'm able to track down things, spiritually. And all they got to do, when they say they see a shapeshifter or whatever, then all they got to do is tie bar and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. Then they're gonna find out what they're dealing with is some demonic activity. No, or like this is skinwalker shapeshifters, which that's everywhere where there's a native Indian burial ground, not just in their ranch. But that's the show. That's the name of the show. So I don't watch it, man. I'm honestly, I don't watch a lot of shows. I got away from TV because a lot of the shows are just paid off for they want to do the fear factor. They want people to get scared. They want people to start believing. And to me, that's going against how I fight spiritually. Like a lot of those shows where the guy with the bifocals, he screams and yells, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" Or something entered me. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to me. They just do it for the views. They just do it for the money. I want to see those guys go to, without knowing nothing of the area of Elms Grove, just go in there and the things that are there are territorial. They'll see right through them, and if they see that they're fake, you're going to get attacked. So I'm thinking these guys that get placed in certain areas where they're not really in danger, but they just do it for the show. They do it for the views, for the money. That's what they're about. Maybe one time the guy might have seen a clown, or there was somebody that said they seen a clown or something that looked like a clown. I mean, maybe he's afraid to go to circuses. You know, but for you to be a sellout and thinking that you're the only guy in the world that, because you got a show, that you're the only one that could do things. Well, that's not the way it works. He's like a sellout, because he does it for a lot of how should I say, staged things. There, one of his episodes, I remember when they were in jail, in a prison. You could see somebody dressed in black running. You could see the tennis shoe underneath there. It was a guy that the guy used to be with him. I'm thinking, I don't know, but you could see the white tennis shoe underneath the black thing. It's like staged, man. Yeah, there was a where the airport, the old airport in Killeen. Uh, After I did the show, I don't know if y'all seen the show. This would is on in season 3, episode 2. It's called "Something Is Out There" on the Travel Channel. I came out on the episode talking about Elms Grove. After that show, I ran into an old man, and he told me that he seen the show, that he wanted to share something with me. He said that he was one of the guys that built the old airport. They said when they were constructing on the old airport in Killeen, that they found a massive gravesite of natives. They had jewelry and all kinds of stuff on them, right? And that some of the people were trying to steal the jewelry. And he was a foreman. He told him to put it back. So then he told his boss about what they found, and they were ordered to cover it up and just put the pavement over it. Like the where the airplanes land. They were ordered to cover it up and build over it. So he said that he believes that where the airport is, and because where I live is nearby there, He said that all that area was native Indian burial ground, but that they built over it. I know that the land that's right there in between the airport and the mobile home park, he hasn't been sold. People said they sold it, but they haven't built on it. I think even the golf course was part of their native Indian burial ground. So there is a lot of paranormal activity there. There was this other man that is my friend that lives by the golf course. He's seen the show when this was 100 season 3 episode 2. Something is out there. He said that him and his wife and his daughter, well, did they see the shadow people at the golf course also at nighttime? Sometimes near their house, they'll see the dark shadow figures. They said that they're pretty tall. So the same things I see, they see. So it's because it's that land, it's if they built over it, of course the spirits are not resting right? So they're going to be upset. There you go. But yeah, I think that the trolls are coming out. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank y'all for those that tuned in here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I hope you all like. But check it out. When you really, the first time I ever spoke about what happened to me in Elms Grove is Dogman Encounters episode 53. I speak on there. That's my first time I ever did a podcast. And the show that I did on This Woods Are Haunted, season 3, episode 2, or Terror in the Woods, season 3, episode 2, is called Something Is Out There. Uh, that's what happened in Elms Grove to me. Check it out if if you can, so y'all can check it out. It's real true events that happened there. You know, I would take people there to check it out with themselves, with if they got equipment or whatever. But I just don't want nothing to happen to anybody because they'll suffer. They'll know. The spirits know what you're there for. So they know that they already know when you enter the before you even enter the park that you're there because you're looking for them. So most likely they'll surface up because spirits know. You don't have to tell them nothing; they know. But again, thank you all for taking a little bit of time. You'll have yourself a good night. Get some rest. I know I'm gonna go get some rest right now. Thank you all for being loyal viewers. Maybe one day I'll share. I might give out some minerals for for protection. I do collect minerals. I have a big collection of minerals. So maybe one day to the viewers, if you're here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, I'm going to bless people with minerals of protection. Give something out to the community for being here. Supporting the group, the channel. How you doing, brother Carlito? I wish I have a lot of raw materials that have factors of protection that'll protect you from negative energy such as the succubus or incubus when you go to sleep. You can place some minerals uh, in your bed, in your room, when you go to sleep, and it'll protect you from you having the sleep paralysis, nightmares, or even sleepwalking. It'll protect you from that. I want to give out to, I'm doing things my way, which to me is to help out my brothers and sisters that are viewing here and to help out people spiritually, to bless people, and that's what I want to do. Maybe one day I'll do that, is bless people with minerals of protection so they can have around them, just like I have minerals of protection here. I have a raw pea. This is a different ones, a different piece of selenite, and I got a polished black tourmaline. I got and it's silver. This one's silver plated. I got rid of the copper one. It's still in my room. I keep them there, but because it was the green was staining me, so now I got some that I'm not going to leave no kind of stain of copper. That's good, brother Carlito. Thank you for tuning in, brother. I was about to leave, but it's people that left already. But yeah, I was fixing to leave, brother Carlito. You know, I was talking spiritually. You know how I do, talking spiritually about a lot of things. I hope you're doing good, brother. I know you've been working a lot with a new job that you got, which is good. Yeah, they, yeah. One day, what I'm gonna do is for people that are members here of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I want to bless people. Maybe I might do it through through my Facebook group, where whoever shows up, I'm gonna bless everybody with a mineral, which they will have to contact me through Messenger, give me their address where they want me to send the mineral to. So the minerals that I would bless them with will be minerals of protection against negative energies, or spirits. I've said the minerals that I use to deflect negative energies, which is black tourmaline is one of them. That's the ones that I always take with me when I go investigate in the woods. Thank you, brother Carlito. Yeah, we talked about a lot of interesting object experiences. You know, sharing my experiences with the viewers. Hey, I like doing it outside, man. It's more me when I do them outside because sometimes I sense what's around. There's times when I've done one here, like last week or 2 weeks ago, while I'm doing the show and all kinds of things start surfing up, spiritually. So Lechusa showed up, was behind the tree, showed itself to me, and it was looking at me. I was looking at it, and it just flew away, flew over the fence. Uh, but it's because of the time frame that I'm doing this shows. That is, it's when those that side of the balance is supposed to be the strongest. So they're like, "Who's this guy that's sitting outside talking at 3 in the morning? That's our time, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 4 in the morning. That's our time. What is he doing talking? Why is he talking about Jesus Christ? Let's go mess with him. Let's go make our presence known." And all they do is they just type on the rebuke in Jesus Christ's name and they flee. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight. And for those that came in late, you're more than welcome to watch the replay. But yes, that's what I'm thinking about doing, brother, is blessing people with some black tourmaline. They can have it in their pocket, or they can make it like a little hole with a drill and make their own like their own chain or rope and put it around the neck for protection. So, but that's what I want to do. Is help out people spiritually. Or if somebody's going through something, they're more than welcome to contact me through Messenger. Under my profile is under Abe Cias. I can help you out spiritually, whatever you're going through. Predestination. Predestination is kind of like deja vu. Uh, it's kind of like you're living a moment in the future, but then you say to yourself, "I've been here before." Yes, hit the like button, yo. That's what it is. It's like predestined. Is like I was yesterday in the kitchen and we were just all laughing, and I was like, "Man, I've seen this before already," you know. So, but it's not. It's like this, you know. It's simple. Uh, the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, He's the past, the present, and the future, and we're His children, right? We're under His image, but we're His children. We're all children of God, in which we will have those capabilities of the past, the present, and the future. That people call it deja vu. Some people call it predestined, but it's about the spirit knows. The spirit knows. Well, it's from the beginning to the present and to the end. He knows. He knows things. That's why I always tell everybody, follow your spiritual instinct, because your spiritual instinct is going to guide you. And the one that can change things, I'm going to tell you like this: Jesus Christ. When people say that certain people's fate is sealed at a certain time and date, Jesus Christ is the one that can make the difference. Uh, there's no time for there's no time for anybody's time. It's all upon Jesus Christ. He's blessed me. Which if there was a date of time, well, that calendar got messed up already like 6, 7 times or more times than that, because I'm still here. So in saying that, it's up to Jesus Christ. He can bless us. He's the one that can bless us to have a miraculous. How should I say? Imagine if they say you're clinically dead for 20 minutes. They leave you alone in your room in the hospital, and you get blessed to come back to your spirit, to your body. And then when they open the curtain because they think you're dead, and they're ready to collect your body organs, right? Because you sign a piece of paper that you donated all your organs. And then they look at you and they freak out and take a running out of the room, like they're seeing a dead person alive. How can that be? There's no way he should be dead. He was clinically dead for 20 minutes. Jesus Christ, man, he's amazing, man. I'm telling you, I'm blessed. Even though I'm gonna feel some aches and pains from that rigor mortis, from the rigor mortis. I mean, I do have a blood clot on my left leg, and only God knows where else. But I'll leave it up to Jesus Christ to make my body go. uh, it's kind of like reminds me of Lazarus when he got rose from the dead. It's like the Heavenly Father can bless us in many ways, man. He's amazing. I'm just letting you know he can do amazing things. And what's crazy is all these people that are anti Jesus Christ, the Illuminati, the governments, the cults, all these people that are sellouts, or they're giving 100% to the other side of the balance. Hollywood actors and wherever, they just don't know how great the power of Jesus Christ is. They're too busy living the moment. They're too busy living what the earth provides, the riches of the earth. But they don't know that the riches of the spiritually, the blessings spiritually are a lot greater. And it doesn't matter what they have, doesn't matter what they own, because at the very end, they don't take nothing with them. Everything stays behind. The bigger question is, instead of them throwing symbols of what they believe in, they didn't prepare themselves spiritually to ascend into heaven. So their fate is already sealed in a sense of a way, because it does shows the path that they want to be on. So it doesn't take a strong-minded person to fall for that. That's like a weak-minded person. Those people that go with that side, because a strong-minded person, that truly believes in Jesus Christ and fears Jesus Christ because he can take us or he can bless us. We know what's greater, And I just feel sorry for those people. They're like puppets are being controlled by, you could say, bonded, demonized. It's like they're coming out in the open now and not afraid to show what they're about. But that's good, because I'm coming out in the open and letting people know who I am. I believe in Jesus Christ and the things that I do. And I'm coming out in the open also, because the spiritual war is here. So everybody's surfacing up. Everybody's showing up what they represent, right? I've been talking about this for years now, and I'm not afraid to represent Jesus Christ. That's why the trolls come at me the way they do sometimes, because they believe in the other side. That's why I do this right now. What do you think I'm doing this right now at this time? And y'all can share this to wherever you want to. Y'all can share it. I'm representing Jesus Christ at this time frame. There's no tithe, nothing about tithe or money here. I'm just trying to awaken my brothers and sisters to get ready for a spiritual battle, for them to awaken spiritually, to maintain a love foundation, to get rid of the hatred, anger, the vengeance, and forgive, to maintain a love foundation. And by forgiveness, that's part of love, that they'll have a stronger relationship with Jesus Christ, and he'll bless them with the spiritual gifts of discernment to fight spiritually. That's what I'm representing, is Jesus Christ. I'm his messenger, as a messenger right now. They're throwing up what they represent and all this stuff. Well, I'm speaking about it. I'm not afraid to speak about Jesus Christ, because I place him first daily. Yeah, it's kind of like I tell people. It's like when certain of this people that believe in other things, they're gonna say, "I know who you are," and they're gonna say, "You're in the King James version," and then he's gonna tell them, "I don't know who you are," because they never spend the time to get to know him and have a relationship, or to even pray for him when they were going through something spiritually. But that's what I'm doing here at this time frame. You know, uh, I'm representing Jesus, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's why I'm here. And I know that the people that want you to say yes to things that are against God, of whatever things that go against the commandments, they dislike what I have to say, because they don't want to hear the truth. They want to continue to be in the ways that they are, because they're being bonded, and with this bonding them, tell them it's okay. You can be whatever you want to be. So long as it's there in those in the commandments, that's again, you're doing things that are against God, you're good. That's what they're telling them, but they're setting them up for failure. But anyways, brothers and sisters, thank you for the likes. I got 9 likes tonight, uh, which is good. Somebody said get rid of all. Well, they're already doing that. They get rid of their money. Everything. Everybody's using more credit cards than anything nowadays. But anyways, thank you all. God bless you and your families. You all have a beautiful, blessed evening. Get some rest, y'all. Let's say a little prayer before we go. Heavenly Father, it's this time I'd like to pray for all my brothers and sisters that view this live feed tonight. Uh, we want to pray for peace around the world. We want to pray for people to maintain the love foundation and have a relationship with you, Jesus Christ, because through that love foundation, we can get blessed, we could get healed, and we can overcome any trials and tribulations that come up against us. We'd like to pray for the people that are being spiritually bonded, for you to give them a spiritual opening, a freedom, as we tie, bind, and rebuke the unclean spirits that are bonding them at this time. This we pray in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Y'all have a blessed evening, and till make another video, which more likely to be tomorrow. And I've been trying to do a video almost every day in the evening time. Y'all have a beautiful morning or evening wherever you're at in the world. Just remember to always maintain a love foundation, no matter what the situation is that you're going through, that you're never alone, because all your brothers and sisters here love you, and Jesus Christ loves you. That you're never alone, and that you're not a mistake. You're a child of God, and you were born into this world for a reason. So don't feel or don't get deceived that you're not nobody, because you are. You're a child of God. We're all chosen. As a matter of fact, I tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. Whatever's here, leave. You're not welcome here. You are somebody. If you have any things wrong happening to you, that bad thoughts are coming to you, you need somebody to talk to. You're more welcome to contact me through Messenger, HCS, and I'll talk to you spiritually. You are somebody in this world, and you're somebody in the kingdom of heaven. That's where our destiny is supposed to go to. Don't let anything that's unseen, that's been fallen, deceive you from your, how should I say, your I always call it a ticket to heaven, but it's not a ticket. It's your destiny, because that's where we came from initially. As when we were born, we were like little angels. So it's our destiny to make it into the kingdom of heaven, because we're all children of God. I'm just letting you know that you're all somebody, and if you're with somebody that's trying to make you feel little and can't accept you for who you are, or doesn't want you to be a certain way, uh, then they don't know who you really are. Don't let nobody change who you are as a human being. Uh, but all in due time, everything, as you grow spiritually, you learn the wisdom and knowledge, and it all becomes one. It grows, and you start following your spirit more. In saying that, brothers and sisters, y'all have a beautiful, blessed morning or evening. Peace out, everybody.